she would be in the shower. I just hear, oh my gosh, just like it was a struggle dealing with, just, and I would even try to help her to detangle, and I'm like,
detangling was the biggest thing.
Are you transitioning from relaxed hair to natural hair while you're going gray? Well, then this video is going to be for you. I have my lovely mom, Maggie, and my sister, LA, who is back for another interview where we're going to be talking specifically about the transition that my mom did from relaxed hair to natural hair with her gray hair. And for those of you who have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Are you transitioning? Have you already transitioned? Any challenges that you had? That way this could be of help for those later on. So mommy, since you went through both things, I think I asked you this on the other interview, but we can talk about it again. Which would you say was harder?
Transitioning from relaxed hair to natural hair.
Why would you say that one was harder?
Well, what I think is the techniques that you have to learn along the way. You have to, because I didn't big chop. So because I didn't big chop, I did the transition a little bit at a time. So that made it harder too, because I had two different textured parts of the hair. Of course, with Ashley's help, I was able to, as we're transitioning the hair, cut the ends. I think I was cutting my ends, every month, I would say. That was the hardest part because you had two different textured hair. And so it was hard to style and knowing how to style it, as opposed to when I just changing from the color of my hair. That was different because I was doing all the things I normally do.
Right.
But it's just that, I had two-tone colored hair.
Now, another thing that was different is when you were transitioning to gray, you were still going to the salon to get your hair done.
Exactly.
So did you notice that she did anything different with your hair?
No.
Once it was
necessarily. I noticed I would have to get my hair more conditioned because, again, the gray hair that was growing in, even though we were able to make the texture the same as the other end, but still it's like it's new growth. The new growth is a different texture than the one already there. So I had more drying, She had to condition it more. It was a little bit more fragile too, so that it wouldn't break, because I would even notice that I would have these little, pop-ups, like flyaways, you call them. On this part of my hair, and then of course the other part was relaxed.
The border.
The border. Yeah.
Crossing the border between the two.
And let's just talk about my mom's hair real quick. I love, how did you style your hair today? This is just,
oh my goodness, this is my go-to. I'll turn around for
I
you
just
guys.
love it.
It's beautiful.
Oh my goodness.
And full.
Yeah.
And you didn't blow dry it. You didn't blow.
This is not blow dry. This is just.
I wouldn't allow her.
No heat.
Not allowed.
No heat to my hair. So this is just combing it out. This is what a week and a half. A week and a half hair.
Wow.
So of course, when I first wash it, she. What do you do? What do you call that? Flat twist. And then after my hair is nice and curly and whatever, but after, a while, and I sleep wild. So,
I get very concerned.
Yeah.
I see it and I just think about the work I have to do. And whenever I have to trim her hair, she's like, why are you trimming? Well, you're not taking care of your ends. Was I a wild sleeper as a child?
No, not necessarily.
Was I a wild sleeper?
One place.
Yeah, I like to sleep on my side. So like once I have my comfort spot, I'm just there. My bonnet stays on, so I guess that's
my bonnet comes off, and we know why. It's
but I'm like you then.
That just comes up and you have to turn it off, you know? And so what happens is my hair would, knot and what have you. But in any event,
smushed.
Yeah.
I mean, it was flat, and then you see the satin scrunchie, and then all this puff of hair, and I'm like, yeah, it's not gonna last at all.
So with the proper products, putting a little bit of oil and, combing it out, using the styling things and comb it out, and then I'll braid it, put it in little Bantu knots.
No,
no,
it's not Bantu knots.
What is it?
It's just 2-strand twist, and
she just
takes it 2-strand and then pin it, but she calls that her Bantu knots.
Whatever.
Why not Bantu knots? Why is it not Bantu?
Bantu knots, the way I envision Bantu knots is when you take the strand, you twirl it, and then you wrap it around it, and it's a knot sticking out like a dinosaur horn.
Right.
Hers is just do it and twist, wrap it, and pin it. Like that's not a version of Bantu knots.
Bantu knots, okay.
It's Maggie's Bantu knots.
There you go. It's Maggie's
Bantu knots.
Yes. It's a mag knot.
Mag knot.
Do you sleep in a satin pillowcase?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I definitely need that for when those moments happen. And I'm taking it off in the middle of the night because I get warm, and then it's going everywhere but on my head.
Did you have a satin pillowcase when you were relaxed?
No.
It was when you went natural.
It's when I went natural that I did the satin pillowcase. It's really helpful.
Wouldn't have done it. You would have been wearing the cotton ones if I didn't tell you to get a satin pillowcase.
Yeah, of course, that definitely helped encourage it, and I see the benefits of that.
Especially for you if you feel hot at night.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Definitely, it definitely protects the hair, even also the edges too of my hair.
Another thing I'm loving about my mom's hair is that she can do that. My edges would need so much like my low curls to try and get
that
hair looks like it's straight.
Now, I also, what do you mean, like combing it out, or you mean the texture?
It looks like a perfect blowout to me, even though she didn't blow it out. Now,
all I do is just comb it out every day. I comb it out. I put moisturizer in it, and then the satin cap protect it.
And her texture is just different. I just feel like, because even if I did that, my hair would not allow me to do such things.
Is it because it's too thick?
No, because mommy's hair is thick too.
My hair is thick.
I wonder if it could just be her being gray as well, or just being high porous hair that she has. It can just be more manageable. So I get the shrinkage. Like if I comb my hair out, it's just gonna go. It'll come back. It doesn't want to stay out. Like you could comb your hair, you may suffer a bit of shrinkage, but not as much. And
only if I go someplace where it's humid though. Like if I go outside, it's
humid. But then also the front of your hair is just a looser texture, looser pattern.
Yeah.
The back of your hair is where, and that's where it's not completely grayed either. Right. You'll have some black in there. I don't know if that would be different once the white hair grows in, but it's something about it's just you have corkscrew curls.
Yeah.
I feel with that kind of pattern, it does not like manipulation. It does not like to be combed out or anything. And that's why your wash and goes are always on point. I mean, always.
Thank you. You talking about me?
Yes, my love.
Oh,
we don't do wash and goes.
We don't do wash and goes.
I remember when I did do styles like mommy.
Yeah.
Where I could put my hair up, but my hair wasn't as straight as that. It would just be stretched, but I was able to put it like that. But I just love the blow dry look that mom, because that's what it is. If especially if you comb it out, daily, and you braid it and you continue to stretch it, which is good. I mean, you think about that. That's an easy hairstyle to be able to hold.
Oh yeah, this is my protective style. This is my go-to. I'll just comb out my hair and then just
twist it works for you.
twist it and pin it, you know. And,
You know
and then the braids too that I do.
right.
There's
Build
something
up those-
elegant. It's like, this is so elegant. Like, you can do this for dress up, for
Yeah.
dress down. It's just,
professional. Like mommy looked very professional with her little outfit and her little
Yeah.
pearls.
no, you got to put the glasses on too. You got to give the whole experience.
Oh my goodness. Glasses.
It's okay. It's okay. It's all right.
My mom's like, I can't put on dirty glasses.
Yeah.
Yes, mommy. Yes, giving those like ABC 7 News vibes. I love it because the look that mommy's hair has even looks similar to what it was like when it was relaxed, like that straightness. I mean, it's not as smooth as it was when it was relaxed, but it does have that you know, straightness to it. And I'm glad, because there was another person that I was able to talk with about their gray hair, and they also had the similar experience. They remind me of your hair, very loose in the front. So for those of you who are watching this and you experience different curl patterns on your hair, you have a looser texture in the front, a tighter texture in the back. Ashley mentioned a very good point. Depending on the area that's the loosest, that could be the area where you're white or you have the least amount of melanin. And then the area where it's still the salt and pepper, you have a different texture. I think if I straighten my hair, because where my white patch is, I think like that's the area that has the most frizz or can get frizzy if I don't put gel. And it's also the area that could get straighter a lot easier than the rest of my hair. How long did it take you to transition to gray, mommy? 2 years to grow it out?
I would say, yeah, I would say about 2 years.
Okay. So then once you
what's interesting is that now it's been altogether, I would say 4 years. Going on my 4th year since I'm all gray or stop
No
putting
color.
color in my hair. But I noticed that what happens is, like, once it finds wherever its natural niche, I guess, or grow out, it's less than I thought it would when it was first coming out, if that makes sense.
So you're saying it's
so I noticed, like, I could see more of the black part of my hair. Okay, here. Of course, most of my grays are in this area over here.
I guess you realize you don't have, your hair is not completely gray.
Yes, it's not
because
completely
you still
gray.
have some left in the back.
Exactly.
Exactly.
But that's even the same for daddy. Daddy, like,
like about 1 inch of his youth left in the back of his hair. That I'm just like, oh, you right there. You're right there.
So in saying that, the hair is still graying.
Right.
As I'm getting older, my hair is still graying.
Or it may not. You never know how that goes. Because I know some people who are in their like 60s, 70s, they don't have much gray or any gray. Whereas someone like myself, I'm 39 and I have more gray hair now than I did when I first started this gray hair journey. And similar, I think it's so interesting how it's the back of the hair that's the last for a lot of people when they're going gray. Like even Ashley with the grays that are coming in for you are toward the crown in the top area.
Yeah, and they're coming in as streaks.
Right.
There must be some sort of scientific, I'm sure.
Probably
I wish mine would come in like that, like in the root.
In the hairline. It's so funny.
Hairline,
That's what you want, because when it will, for me, I was like, no. Like it was, because it's the hardest to conceal. Yours, if it's in the crown, you know, you can even put your hair in a ponytail, whatever. So when your natural hair started to come in, so basically by then you stopped going to the salon, and that's when Ashley took over.
Okay. Stopped going to the salon. Ashley was a big help in helping me find, the right products.
Right.
You don't realize that you do need a different type of, how I am a stickler for finding the right products for my hair. Once I
Yeah.
find the right products, I'm not going to change.
Mhm.
If I'm happy with it and it's doing what it needs to do with my hair, then I'm okay.
Right.
But Ashley was a big help in helping me to understand that, you know, the hair process, you know, what the hair is going through, it needs a different type of, I would say, nutrients.
Mhm.
Ingredients to help
to
it to be more
thrive
manageable.
on. Yes,
'Cause you
definitely
were-
to be manageable.
I had to get you out of. She started with Pantene. She's like,
Mhm.
no, the Pantene's fine. I'm fine. Yeah.
I really thought it was fine.
I was like,
seriously.
yeah, no.
Until I started getting further and further into my journey of natural hair, and then I had those two different textures, and I'm trying to comb it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, permed hair
Oh, it
probably
was
would have been
awful.
okay with it. You
Right.
know,
Right.
again, some people might be able to use Pantene now being natural and it's fine.
Mhm.
But I will say that, you know, I'm not a product Nazi, but
Mhm.
I do see the difference when you use products with certain ingredients versus those that have those harsh alcohols in it.
Mm. That's a good point that you made, Mommy, because I was going to ask you, at what point did you, like, 6-month mark, like when you really started to see that, like, there was this is a,
Not beyond.
we're not in Kansas anymore.
Exactly. I would say anywhere between 3 to 6 months. Yeah.
You were definitely reaching more. Actually, what are we talking about? Didn't you transition for almost a year?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
at
but
least.
at the beginning
You
transition.
transitioned for a year, but I
Mhm.
think at 6 months was when it was starting to get like real.
Yes.
Where she would be in the shower. I just hear, oh my gosh, you know, just like it was a struggle
awful.
dealing with, you know, just, and I would even try to help her to
Managing
detangle, and I'm like, ooh.
Detangling was the biggest thing.
Mm.
Detangling. I was like,
But what's funny is Mommy was the one who really went through that, because you actually transitioned for what? Me and you, like, I transitioned for.
That's because you both big chopped. I didn't.
That's what I'm saying. We didn't go through that. So it's like we
didn't go through it for I would say a period of time. I mean, I went through it enough to know that I did not want to go any further.
Right.
I mean, my go-to were those green rollers.
Yeah.
And I did that, but it was just like, no, I can't do this.
Mhm.
Like, these roots are thick.
Yeah. And see, that's the thing. Sometimes a lot of people, now see, stopping dyeing your hair is not a small thing, because as far as aesthetics, I think the biggest thing about going from colored to gray is the aesthetic part of it. But relaxed to natural, we're talking about texture that you haven't dealt with in a long time. And to be honest with you, even when it comes to coloring and relaxing, your hair is not, besides that new growth, your hair isn't really even the same as it was like when you're younger. You processed it with color, you processed it with chemicals, diet, age, all kinds of things that affects how your hair grows out. So again, if you guys are experiencing these things, it's not like, oh, what am I doing wrong? No, this is a big change. So take heart, know that you're not alone. My mom had her moments, and we're here to help you as much as we could. Not everybody can have an Ashley, a personal stylist. Now, Mommy, do you think you would have kept with it as long as you did with the transition if it wasn't for Ashley helping you out?
I don't think I would. I mean, she's an added bonus, but I think that's what's nice now, that there's a support group out there that we all can become knowledgeable, become okay, hey, I'm not the only one doing this. This is, you know, people have their stories, they talk about it, they say what helped them. So this is just like an added bonus.
Got it.
I'm not the reason.
I'm
not the reason she stayed, but I'm a added.
She encouraged me to stick with it. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
She encouraged me to stick with it. You know, you could give up. You could
Yeah.
definitely give up, especially if you work, if you're busy, you're trying to live, you want the most simple and quickest, easiest thing,
Right.
to be done. So yeah, but the fact that there, we have support, you find someone where you can find support
Mm-hmm.
in or with
Mm-hmm.
that can help you to, to stick with it.
And I think it does have to initially start with you, because
Right.
if you don't want to have that commitment, then even if you get encouraged, like
Right.
case in point, me and you,
Mm-hmm.
when natural, and I was like, oh, I would love my hair curly, but then you told me I needed to do it. I was like, I had to make that choice, and then but then having your encouragement and seeing your journey, that helped me to be able to continue. So it is something that's, twofold, but it's
it is, because honestly, mommy did your hair a lot, and then you learned how to do your hair. You became, and this is another thing that is empowering about stopping your dye or even going to natural. You learn your hair. It's nothing wrong with stylists, it's nothing wrong with hairdressers, but at times, at least I even found, we lack the very basic knowledge of taking care of our hair. So Ashley being there to tell you that, oh no, you need a product that has more emollients in it, and she tried some already, and you guys have that similar thickness. So would you say, for someone who is transitioning to natural, some of the biggest challenges are, what products do I use?
Absolutely. What products? Because somewhere down the line, if you had a product that you were using before, you're going to find that you're going to need to change it, because it comes again to the whole word transition. You're you're transferring from one stage to another stage. And so, yes, you're going to find that you're going to need to use something different, something, and, for some people, it may be harder than others. It all depends, again, on the person's texture of their hair. That's another thing. I didn't know what the hair type, the porosity of the hair. Those are things that I was not knowledgeable about. So Ashley was, a big help in that regard.
It was nice to just be able to experience. I think seeing it happen to someone else, you go through that journey, but to see someone else, it's just like, ooh,
because everyone's journey is going to be different too.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be unique to us.
My sister is very take charge, so it was almost like, you're mine, you're my project, I'm gonna help you on this whether you like it or not. And guys, let me tell you, the times where I would call and my sister would hear my mom was or wasn't doing something. My mom would be washing her hair and she'd be like, excuse me, did you deep condition? How did you separate your hair? Like, she was no joke. She's like, listen, hair care is serious. Like, she was your personal trainer.
Yes.
It's like, you can lose weight without a personal trainer, but with a personal trainer, they give you that tailored, and then that even helped her to be able to understand something different than even your hair.
Right. She learned something through my journey.
Exactly, because gray hair is so much different than melanated hair. It's just and there were certain things that I tried or did that wouldn't work for her hair, and her hair would tell her immediately. And then she had the seborrheic dermatitis too, so that was another added thing that we had to take into consideration.
I know that was another journey we both learned along the way.
And that you're still suffering with, when it may not be on the face as much, but the scalp is like, her scalp would be red. And I knew that was time for her to wash. So whenever she washed it, it's like the skin it turned back to pink, to flesh tone. It was
amazing.
It was irritation because all that product buildup that's sitting on her hair. And so that's why I always tell her, I'm like, I know you want to stretch it, maybe 2 weeks max, but that whole 3 weeks, like, no, it's okay. And then I'm looking at her scalp and I'm like, your scalp is screaming.
I know. It's
like asking
hydration
for help.
Hydration.
It's so funny you say that, because I also am that, like mommy, where I'm like, when was the last time? Is it 3?
Oh yeah.
God, especially with the wash and go, because it's easy. And I also want you guys to see different gray journeys, because I'm a wash and go girl. My mom is twist out, flat twists, and she wears her hair in these beautiful protective styles. And her hair is a different pattern than mine is. And you explained it nicely earlier, Ash, when you said that, because when I had combed my hair out, honey, when that comb went through a spring, it was like, like,
because they're so tightly coiled, and
yes.
they're a family. Your girls are a family, and when you put that comb through it, it's like we cannot be separated.
It cannot be separated.
Cannot be combed out.
Oh my goodness.
Nothing. I mean,
Can be combed out, but it also doesn't look like mommy's. When mommy's is combed out, it looks like a blowout. Mine, like you said, it don't put any kind of moisture, any kind of cream, any kind of water, because then it'd be like, and this is why I have an issue sometimes when I get a cut from the barber, because it's like it's stretched, but then shrinkage.
yeah.
So, okay, we talked about the challenge of finding products, transitioning from relaxed to natural, the two different textures, that the products you used before, you're not going to see the same results when your hair is natural. And you remember, Ashley, when we were transitioning, I mentioned this on my last live, but I mentioned the wrong product. It wasn't S Curl, it was Wave Nouveau. That was like a,
that was, oh my gosh, and that blue bottle.
did we?
I thought, huh?
Did you use any for mommy? I think so.
I don't recall.
I don't think I had it for that long.
That's true.
But I know I was split. I thought that thing was going to change my hair, and I was like, oh, we're going to wave out. And I mean, it did provide some measure of softness to the new growth.
Right.
When you have that two texture, it's I'll never forget that day waking up and calling you like, I'm coming over for cutting my hair. And then after cutting my hair, we have to go to somebody professional to cut because, but when she cut it, oh my gosh, that's a whole nother,
yeah. This is something else, if you're transitioning from relaxed to natural, that you have to look out for. If your scalp is acting up on you or is like, whoa, we really underestimate how acclimated our hair and scalp gets to chemicals or certain products. And then you start putting in this new stuff, doing things with more moisture to the scalp. It might bring up certain conditions that you didn't realize that you may have had. But I remember when it went down to your face and it was just like very irritated. What did you find? I think it was Trader Joe's tea tree tingle that was like really good.
Ashley put me onto that, and I was like, oh, what a difference.
Yeah, that and the rinse out conditioner, and she uses the Unicurl 5-minute deep conditioner because it has like peppermint oil and spearmint and tea tree oil. Like that is like perfect for those kind of conditions. It just the scalp feels refreshed, renewed. That blood circulation is coming to the folds. So.
And I'm so happy for that 5-minute conditioner because again, I'm one of those people. I'm no nonsense. Don't like spending too much time. You know, I'm in, I'm out. I'm good.
I know a lot of subscribers who feel the way you do, mommy, because they'll look at me sometimes and they'll be like, honey, you telling me this, and that. Like, can we break it down?
Even in that shower, I got to go back in there. It's bad enough I had to part my hair in 4 parts and wash it individually.
Oh, poor you. I tell you. Okay, I have to come out the shower every time.
I would tell her, you got to work on finding me something where I'm not going to be sitting under
you have to make it patient catered, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, Yeah. But that 5-minute, I'm in love with it, and the tea tree conditioner, it's awesome.
That conditioner is awesome. I haven't used it in a long time, and this is another interesting thing, because when you were transitioning and Ashley was giving you trims, because that's another important thing. If you don't want to cut your hair, you can do trims periodically to be able to, you know, as you get closer and closer. Now, let's talk about the styles that you wore to help you transition.
It's amazing to me how I can look back. It's been what, a year and a half.
It feels like more.
it feels like more. Yeah. This head of hair that I have is just amazing to me. I look back and I'm like, what was I doing?
Yeah, the way that you started, it was like, when I first cut it, I was like, wow, we cut off a lot of hair, but it just came, and it flourished when it didn't have that weight.
What were we doing before we did the strand twist?
You were doing cornrows and roller sets.
Yes,
those were her go-tos.
Yeah. The roller sets are really helpful for the permed ends to do.
They help keep those little perm ends in their place. Yeah. Until it will need oh my goodness. It was a process.
I hated it. Like,
I really did.
Every time I came around her, I just wanted to take the scissors and just go.
Right.
But that day, I was just like, we're cutting it today.
She's like, come here.
And we just let it go, and it was like liberating for me.
Me too.
Oh, I was like, yes.
Mommy, did it feel more liberating to go natural than it did to go gray?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I also feel like, because you already have very thick hair, and sometimes with relaxer, at times, that's not everybody, but some find that their hair thins and thins.
Yes, I had no body. My hair, you know when my hair would have body? When it would be time to go back. That's when it had some body. And by then, of course, you had a little bit of new growth, but that's when my hair sort of like fullness, and my hair was all gray and it was relaxed, but it was time for me to get a perm. I can tell, like the middle of my head would always be a little poofier. And so, and then the ends would be stringy, and then I'd be like, what do I do with you? But now, this is full head of just like.
I mean, that, like, this style is just like.
I'm glad I can do this, because there are times where sometimes I would tell Ashley, maybe I'll blow it out, and she'll say no.
So you haven't used heat on your hair for pretty much 1.5 years since you stopped relaxing.
No heat, no relax, no heat.
Right.
All 3 major no-nos.
Okay, got it. Yeah. And again, everybody is different. You know, there might be some whose hair can take it, but I definitely, from when you did your mini big chop. So what we learned from today is that there's freedom that comes with your natural hair. There's lots of experimentation, lots of trial and error, learning the products that work for your hair. Let's be also a little bit more specific. Unicurl is a deep conditioner that you found that could give your hair the moisture that it needs. When it comes to styling, because like I said, I'm a wash and go girl, but you style mommy's hair differently. What do you find? Because you said you're used to doing your hair, but when you did mommy's hair, you saw the difference with the gray hair. What do you feel like you had to do differently for mommy?
Well, because she has high porous hair, her method of adding her products are different. For me, I usually do leave-in, cream, oil to seal. But for her, I notice I'll have to do the leave-in, the oil, then the gel. No, oil, cream, gel. And so, and the thing is, I'm starting to pay attention to, I don't know if her hair is starting to have a coconut oil sensitivity, or if it could just be seasons that she might need different products for. And she needs gel, like without a doubt. I can go without gel for my hair, but she the gel for the definition and to keep the frizz down, so that her hair can last throughout the week.
Good point. Now, I've heard that coconut oil is better for before washing for some, and like not really good for others with the sealing. That's when it can cause sometimes that dryness or brittleness, because it goes right into the strand. Because for me and coconut oil are booze for pre-poo. But when it comes to styling, no.
If people are using straight coconut oil,
right,
has coconut, because the products we use it has coconut oil in it.
Good point. Good point.
It's not like she's getting it direct.
Right.
It's like, whoa, a little too much. But yeah, I don't do straight coconut oil. I don't think your scalp can handle that either, because I think we were even using an oil that we had to change because you were scratching a lot more.
Yeah, it made it itchy.
It was like, I think the second ingredient in there. So coconut oil was high in that oil. So the melanin hair care, great. Her scalp loves it. Her hair loves it.
Okay.
It doesn't tint her hair either.
This is all good things to know, because again, I use different products than my mom does. And so for those of you who are wondering, so far we mentioned Unicurl, the 5-in-1 deep conditioner. We mentioned Trader Joe's Tea Tree Tingle shampoo and conditioner, both amazing. Anything with peppermint in it is really good for those of you who have any kind of scalp issues, itching, flaking.
Scalp. Yeah.
Spa for your scalp. There you go. And then, do you pre-poo mommy's hair?
Yes, I do pre-poo.
Okay. So what do you use for your pre-poo? The African Pride.
Yeah, she did not believe in it initially.
I sure did. And I was like, I'm just going to go wash my hair. Again.
Don't do that, guys. Don't
the whole attitude. It's like,
yeah, don't go in the shower. I mean, you can't go wrong with pre-pooing.
You should.
No matter what your texture is.
It's really good for the hair, because it's sort of like prepares the hair to accept, the hydration and all the other things to moisturize it.
Oh yeah.
Y'all hear her? Y'all hear her education?
I'm doing a good job. You're absorbing it. Very good job. Yeah, we use African Pride for her hair. Her hair loves. Yeah. And one thing is, what I love, because her hair is high porosity, little goes a long way. Yes. Like, she does not need a lot of me. I'm like, scoop. Like, we need to, because that cuticle is shut. And that's why I've your hair is open, ready for acceptance. And it's like, let's go.
So my hair's like happy. And I was like, Ashley, what is this? I was like, this is gold, as she would say.
It's I love that pre-poo.
Then you're gonna love, I just tried recently the Just for Kids curl piece. It's very similar to the African Pride, very liquidy. I think they probably have very almost identical ingredients to their hair. And you definitely have won me over to the African Pride. Now, how does mommy's hair like Nature's Little Secret?
I have not tried the fenugreek in her.
Oh, okay. My hair likes it. Now, what I love about the fenugreek is
like that too, because I think there's some peppermint oil in there.
Oh yeah.
Some I mean, that thing it's packed with nutrients. That's one thing I can say with that product. It has ingredients.
Right.
The African Pride is too, but it's mainly that really focuses on moisture because of the coconut water.
Slippage.
Yeah.
Actually, no, you're right. It's the moisture, because Nature's Little Secret does give slippage, but it's definitely more texture. Whereas with the African Pride, you gotta be like, whoa. But once it gets in the hair, oh my goodness, African Pride pre-poo. Like, it is. So guys, if you're looking for pre-poo, and I like that my mom is now a believer, because before, I have many who are like, I never did that before. And it's like, well, look here, like my mom said, we're talking about transition. We're talking about a new ball game. And
transitioning to pre-poo, I would even suggest that.
Yes, that would be
that would really help with the detangling process with the two textures.
Yes.
Definitely try pre-pooing.
Absolutely.
That's a very good, well, that,
now that I think about it, I did a clay on your hair. When
Right. It was with
the Fortified Naturals
Naturals.
clay.
Fortified Naturals got you through the transition process. It did. The Rasul clay.
You could use clay on permed hair and permed gray hair. And she was like, yeah, it should be fine. I was like, all right, we're going to take a plunge. And your hair, that helped a lot.
Yeah,
That helped a lot.
I loved it.
To do it in between.
Another thing too, it made my hair, the grays sort of like shine.
Yeah.
It was like it was like it opened the pores of the white hairs and you could see the true color.
Right. It clarified your hair.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Clarified your hair. So that's also good to know, because I remember when I first saw that Rasul, I was like, I'm afraid that's gonna stain my hair, but it didn't.
I was too. I was like, is it gonna make it yellow? What is it gonna do?
And
But
mommy, you don't deal with any yellowing, right?
nope,
And you don't use purple shampoo.
no purple shampoo.
I think that the tinting, it's important to do Rasul clays. I mean, especially if someone suffers from
definitely
discoloration, because a lot of that could be either from sun exposure or product buildup.
Right.
I really don't think white hair is supposed to be discolored.
Right. Well, from what I learned,
in it, really.
From what I learned too about white, sometimes it also depends on how your gray hair pattern comes in, because you can have a white patch and that's really white and you may not have any issues, but then you have like, I know some people say they have, instead of salt and pepper, they have salt and cinnamon, like their hair like faded brown.
Could it be that they colored? Because I had that when I was also first transitioning too. Remember?
You had some ombre?
I had colored my hair over the years. And so that's another thing.
You had to grow that out?
Yeah. Actually, that happened not when I was going natural, but when I was going from gray.
You mean colored to gray?
Yeah, black to gray. That's when that happened.
I don't even remember that, because to me, I always thought it was two-toned, white and black, but you did have some reddish.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I've been lying on a lot of my videos saying that when I was misinformed. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I basically don't remember that. I remember the stark white, like the skunky type of color that came. But it goes to show that there's a gradual natural fading that happens even when you grow out all of your gray hair, all of your colored hair. When your own dark hair starts to fade to gray, we have to it's not just going to be this overnight thing. So if you see things that you're not used to, it's a part of the process. So pre-poo is important for detangling. I feel like that's one of the biggest, especially if you're natural. We went over the pre-poo, we went over the conditioner you use, the styling product. My mom's hair, similar to mine, my hair loves gel. So now my mom doesn't do wash and goes, but she does flat twists, but the gel helps to maintain that definition and frizz. So if you're with frizz and flyaways or grays that are like, no ma'am, I want to go here or there, the gel helps it to stay in line.
Seals it.
I feel that too, because a lot of times I don't even use oil. Just the gel itself will give me the sealing that I need, and my hair is moisturized. That and my own greenhouse effect in my scalp, you know. Hold on, let's take a break and breathe. I feel it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta hurry because Ashley's dying.
Okay. On. I'm like, that's why I could tell why you be on lives for 2 hours. I don't know how you do it.
I'm a talker.
Yes. I'm a talker too, but I listen to my body's like,
Okay. What words of encouragement, Mom, would you give to someone who is transitioning to natural right now and they're gray?
The words of encouragement is that it's a journey, but a journey worth taking.
Yes, mommy.
I love it. She was just like she even gave face side.
Like, did you hear me? It's worth it. You got this.
Taking. I'm looking back at all the months and everything. Like I said, when I do my hair now and looking back, I was like, wow, I'm glad I hung in there.
Yes.
I'm glad look how my hair is, so healthy and it's thriving. So the results will be great. Yeah. You just have to hold on. Yeah. Hold on. Take the journey. Just hold on.
Did you want to add to that, Miss LA?
Patience. That is something that I learned so much. Going back to natural, it broke me open because it was more than just my hair. And when you are willing to do that inside job, then you're going to be so busy fixing all the little kinks that you're just blooming along the way. And you know, like mommy said, and even just your channel, the platform that you have is amazing because it's helping others to have that support, because you need that. You need that. You need that along the journey. It's something. It's vulnerable. It puts you in a vulnerable position. Just people don't think that hair, especially as women, hair is a part of us, and unfortunately we hide behind our hair and we think that that's what makes us. And that's why, you know, some people may be afraid to big chop, or and there's nothing wrong with that, but you know, you do have to have a measure of, you know, I don't care, I got this, to shave off your head or to big chop, you know. But when you do that work and you see your journey, take pictures, document, you know, have fun with it. Have fun with your journey. Don't make it sad. Don't make it depressing. You know, just say, okay, this is day one. I'm gonna take a picture, or you know, like you did in your live and showing, you know, the tassels, you know, the makeup. Look for different ways to open yourself, make yourself feel good. If you just get up and say, I'm doing my makeup, you don't have to do it for anyone or go anywhere. Good about yourself throughout the journey. Write down when someone compliments you, like that helped me when I big chopped. I wrote down on my index cards, oh my gosh, this person said this to me, even if it's one person. You know, it's make it fun.
And then find what works for you. Like this hairstyle was just by accident. I mean, my hair now is long enough that I could do this. And then I was like, well, what can I do with it? Play with your hair. What works for you.
That's true. Be willing to be creative.
Exactly.
Experiment.
So you don't get tired of it.
Right. See what compliments you. Because at first I was just like so dependent on Ashley, you know, twisting my hair all the time. There are times I'm like, oh, I got to give this girl a break, you know, and then say to myself, well, what would I do if, you know, so I came up with this.
You do with what? Oh, I don't know what it is. Anyway, I don't want to think about that, but you know.
Anyway, I can do braids, I can do this, you know, my two go-to hairstyles. So. Or just wear it out like she has it now.
Listen, Daddy loves when she, like, he saw her combing her hair, he's like, oh, I love that. You need funky, I like it.
Goodness.
And she's like, oh, no. Because, you know, mommy's personality, she doesn't want that draw attention. It's just like proper, keep, you know,
I'm
together.
happy with my little buns.
Yeah. But if I did that, it wouldn't fit me.
It's true, because your hair is a whole vibe.
It matches my extra personality.
And guys, I'm going to insert pictures here so you can see my mom's hair when it's combed out, because it's similar to my sister's. It's a whole vibe. And so I, unfortunately, am not able to achieve that, but I relish and celebrate theirs. And that's the other thing I want you guys to take away from this when you're transitioning. If you're used to your hair being straight or relaxed a certain way, your hair being colored, it can be a huge adjustment to be used to your hair in a different texture, maybe a texture that needs a little bit more work, whereas you could put your comb through with relaxed. Is going to be a bit different when you are natural, but don't give up. Learn to love and appreciate your unique hair. Maybe, like me, you go to natural and your hair is very fine. It's not as thick as my mom's or as thick as mine. Like my mom said, you know, experiment, play around with what works for you so that you can love your hair. Because this is not about, oh, my hair has to look like Maggie's or Nina's or this YouTuber or that YouTuber. It's about having healthy hair, taking care of your own hair, and loving and accepting who you are. That's definitely what we always want to be able to impart to you guys. You're not alone. I'm so happy to have this platform for you guys to share your journey, to be able to share this journey with my mom and sister, and for us to share our little gems. We're not professionals, but we are sharing our journey, what works for us personally, so that you can have some tools and guidelines. Because remember, I told you guys there's no one way. It's whatever way that works for you and is, like my mom said, unique to yourself. So let me know what was your favorite part of this interview, what gem you took away. Put your own gems in the comments of how maybe you're past your transition, what worked for you or not. I love to hear from you guys as always. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
I so love it. You know why? Because look at that, mommy. Look at your hair.
OMG. I mean, oh my goodness.
I can't fully take my stuff off because I got my color purple braids in there. Look at that.
Giving us life. Like,
look at mommy's hair. You know, another thing I meant to mention to you, mommy, that someone told me, when we have gray hair, we do need to be careful because you could see through our scalp a little bit more. Yes. And so you need to have sunscreen in the summertime for your
Wow, Nay, you look fabulous.
Thank you, mommy. This is my $20.
I think I want one.
Go to my Amazon store.
Get out. That's Amazon store. They have different colors.
Mommy, they have red, they have mustard, they have green. Oh, did you do mommy's makeup?
She took
mommy.
a class.
You did your blush too? Okay, so I'm gonna do my little spiel. Oh yeah, and I gotta look at the camera. Okay.
Gosh, look at Dita. She took it to a whole.
Yes, and I like it. See, you don't know. All of these little moments are the moments that people love. They love the energy, you know. I can't with Laura. Because Ashley's just like, oh my God, I cannot. We need to do a roasting on here too.
No.
And it's funny.
It's funny. Makes a big difference.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. You know, we all come from the same bloodline. We all
pretty much. We be like,
all good. Yeah. You drinking this?
We're at 54 minutes. We're just having
we're talking about an 8-minute interview.
We're just having such a good time. That's what it is.
It's like we FaceTime and just professional. Like,
yes.